Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Nature, Knowledge and Caffeine. And in today's episode, guys, I want to talk about stories. And what I want to talk about is the stories that we are telling ourselves every day, right? Because as humans, let me just fix these earpods. By the way, I'm not a big fan of AirPods because they keep falling out of my ears. Maybe because I got big ears, I don't know, but I have to keep pushing back in. Cool. Welcome to this episode, guys. Basically, what I want to talk about is stories. And as humans, guys, we're creatures of stories. We like to listen to stories. We like to tell stories. And all you need to do is just think about your favorite movie or your favorite sitcom or your favorite series on television or anything that you enjoy watching. And basically, it's just a story. It has a beginning and it has something that happens in the middle, and then there's an ending. Now, if it's a series, they keep you hanging for the next episode, or they make you a promise of what you're going to get to see in the next episode. So it keeps you hanging, so that you just want to wait and see what happens in the next episode. And this is no different to life, right? This is no different to our lives individually. Is that we are a story. The problem is we don't remind ourselves of the story every day. We're too busy watching somebody else's story, and it leaves us feeling uncertain and feeling a little bit lost and confused, maybe because we are not reviewing our own personal story on a daily basis. And this is what I want to talk about today: is to gain clarity, to gain purpose. We need to purposely, on purpose, each and every morning remind ourselves of our personal story and of our personal journey. What is it that we want our story to be? You got to have this story right. You got to get this story right. You got to have this vision. And this is basically all I'm talking about, is this vision. But you can't just, write this shit down and then just dump it in a drawer somewhere, in a cupboard somewhere, and forget about it. You need to remind yourselves each and every day. We need to remind ourselves of the story. What is our story? What is our purpose? And it needs to be heartfelt. It needs to come from a special place. It needs to come from the heart. We need to see it in the mind. We need to believe it in the heart, so that we can act it and speak it in the physical, so that we can actually make shit happen in our lives that we want to happen. So start telling yourselves a story and start reminding yourself of this story every morning. Sometimes 3-4 times a day, I remind myself of my story. I sit there and I think, what is it that I'm actually trying to fucking achieve in this world? What is it that I'm trying to do? Because if I'm not careful, what happens is I get sidetracked and I start watching someone else's story, and then I get confused about my own personal journey and my own story. I'm like, oh, look, maybe that's what I should be doing, and maybe that. And that's why it's so important that you're constantly meditating and reminding yourself of your own personal journey and your own personal story, and act it the best you can. And the more you watch this story in your head, the more you tell your story in your head, the more likely you are to start playing it out in the real world and making it happen. So that's the message I want to share in today's video, guys. Nature, knowledge, and caffeine. Nature lowers and reduces their stress levels being amongst these trees. Caffeine stimulates the central nervous system, so that we can dump infinite amount of knowledge into our minds and utilize in our own personal story. So never stop learning, always be curious, and start focusing on your own personal journey. Peace out.